Good morning, traders. Happy Friday to everyone. It is 10:09 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday, uh, August 20th. This is Opex on the equity indexes. So it's usually a good day for traders to take off or make it a very short day and have low expectations. You can get some good movement on Opex, don't get me wrong, but uh, it's really known for not giving you everything you want in a day, usually. So, with that being said, I will be going golfing this morning, and then I will come back and see if we've had any volatility or if we've got anything that I think looks going or setups going into the afternoon, and maybe take some trades between like 2 and 3 o'clock. If not, I'll just pass and get back at it Monday and Tuesday of next week. So, looking at the linear regression channel, we've been sitting here riding trend. Trend, by the way, for today would be up at 44.90 would be back to trend. So keep that in mind. Yesterday we come back down here. We touched the front run of the buy. The green dash line is the 38.2 retracement, and the green solid line is the 50% retracement line of this linear regression channel. So as we look at this, so traders hit the front run, right? They hit it on the bid, and then they're coming up off of there. So we could still monkey around. With it being Opex today, we do have a lot of price action right around 4,400 if you look back to the left of the chart, right? Previous high basically almost, and then all this back and forth in here. So I have a feeling that today is going to be a 4,400 day, and I'm not looking for it to pin. What I'm looking for is to get, above it by 15 to 30 points max, and then below it by 15 to 30 points max, and just keep, going back and forth or riding, screwing one side or the other, a little bit of fake outs. We've had that overnight, right? So overnight, we'll get into that in a second, look at it, but that's just my basic premise. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. That's what I'm expecting today. It doesn't mean that's the way it's going to shake out, but I think that's where the odds are the highest. Looking at really with the extended session turned off, if we were to open right now, we'd be open at 95, right? We'd be about 6 points under the close, and really just sitting here in this little area. So you can see we've come back perfectly and checked the balance area of all this consolidation and move up. We just come back. This is like a perfect little retest here. So responding back to the upside here would be normal. We do have some overhead supply that kicks in right around 44.20 is really where it kicks in, and we'll see if that matters or not going into the rest of the session. Looking at the shorter time frame a little bit, you got the Russell. I made a comment yesterday that as we were opening up, we were down here by this 2100, back at July 19th. That there's probably little chance that it gets substantially below there, and you're probably closer to a bottom than you are flushing down again, right? Usually if you've spent a lot of time above a swing low that everyone and their brother can see on a chart, right? That's a major swing low right around 2100. You come back up, you went 150 points up basically, and you've come back down. You usually don't crash through it after, this is an aggressive move off from August 13th down to here, which is, basically a little over a week, right? You don't have enough energy to just crash through this. You got to at least consolidate, maybe retrace a little bit. Then you could try it, but I still think the odds are that you really can't get any conviction below this level, especially today now. So it doesn't make it tradable. It doesn't mean you're going to have a rip, roar, and bounce up either. So looking at the ES, this consternation that you're in right now is going to be really right around this 4,400 level, right? Basically, I've got it drawn as 6 points under and 5 points above. You can do 6 and 6 if you want, or 5 and 5. It doesn't matter. But really, this is the area of, do we go back above it or to get back below it? Yesterday we got up to 15, and you can just remember these, 44.15, 44.05, 44.25. That's kind of the way it's going to step up and down. And then you really aren't going to fall out of bed, I don't think, unless you get below that overnight low of, right around 43.70, 43.75 in that area, right? And then you've got some action from yesterday, right? That would be all that's holding it up. And if you look left on the chart, you can see, 43.75 has really been what it's holding, right? So after dipping back below it, right, getting back above it, we've come back down and we're holding that now. That looks pretty positive to me. It's an upside. I'm not saying that, there's no possibility that we get back up above. And if you look at these lows here, we could almost draw another level at, let's just call it 44.35, right? Just to make it even on those fives and 10 points apart. I don't really think there's a real good chance of getting substantially above there. We do have a point of control that's untested up there right around 35. So getting above that would be a little bit more bullish, right? For sure. This is where the overhead supply should be, from 15 to 35 and 25. So I think I beat that up well enough for you for today. And these are levels really to look forward to and think about next week as well. So we had that large range day that we keep talking about for the NASDAQ on July 27th, right? Anytime you see a large range day like that, usually you're going to be stuck in it for quite a while going forward if you don't, immediately get above or below it within the next 2 or 3 sessions, which we did not. So we come back here, a failed break above once, twice. I'm not even going to count these other two because I don't even think you really got enough above them to count for anything. So what happened was everyone had, this was the low that was the major low, right? You had a low, higher low, right? So this is the low everyone's watching. You come down here, you flushed everybody out right into this important zone that's right around 14,000. Let's call it 750, plus or minus a little bit of a cushion, right? That's what this orange block is from. This is the general area. You even stop some people out that were looking at that 14,730 level, just barely, right? And then right back up. Same thing with it, right? After getting down below, flushing everyone out, now you've held in between the next zones, which was 14,853 to 14,965. So again, next thing up from here is that 15,057 for me, and then 15,107 above. To the downside, I think that really the NASDAQ would have an extremely difficult time of trading below 14,785. I think if you're bullish, while we're well above that and holding this 14,853, well, this is really the level that, if you're swinging this is really the level that you're trading against, in my opinion. Looking at the Dow doesn't look as pretty to me, right? It's barely getting back up in this consolidation range that's above 34,744. If it doesn't hold it, you can see the check back down, although it did hit a level that I'm watching for support and resistance. And these are basic support and resistance lines, right? Any idiot can draw these on a chart. 34,566, and I'm just an idiot that drew them on this chart, to 14,744, right? You're getting back above there, but that was kind of a weak hold. You could look at it maybe as the Dow was a little bit stronger potentially because it didn't have as much of a flush, right? It just barely stopped some traders out and then got back above it. So there's, 2 ways to look at it. And the Dow has been a little bit more muted than the rest of them, right? It hasn't been as volatile when you look at, where everyone's starting from, where everyone's come from. I will say that, looking back at this 2-3 day range that basically ranged from 35,000, let's call it, down to, let's just call it 33,700, right? Those couple days, right? Until you get back above 35,000, right? There's really not a lot to be extremely bullish about. You could obviously rotate up to 35,000, and I would really watch for 34,942 on it for today. That's right around yesterday's highs. I think if you pierce those, you've got that congestion, and with it being Opex, you could easily get in that zone and get stuck there. And that zone would be 34,942 to 35,109 is what I'd be watching for the Dow to get ping-ponged in if it so indeed does that. Look at the overnight action, 34.5 points for the ES. We're right in the middle of value. If you look at, I draw the value area high and low as zones, right? So my value area high zone is from 06 quarter to 12 half, right? My low zone is from 83 to 89 quarter, right? These are where traders will come in to try to fade or buy in different places. If you look at the overnight high right now, it's right at the top of this clear area, or the true value is from 43.89 quarter to 44.06 quarter. You stopped right at the top of value area high, right? The rest of this is just like a little buffer zone above and below, but you stopped dead nuts on that. And if you look at it from the overnight action, you've been kind of fading down, right? You've got a lot of shorts that were trapped. Let me glance over here and tell you what the volume was overnight. Yesterday we had extremely high volume, like 410,000 contracts coming in the bell. I can't tell you that is substantial, and that fueled not being able to get lower yesterday. The overnight volume so far today, and we still got another half hour going into the bell, is 250,000 contracts basically have traded, and we're right at flat. But keep in mind, there is a shit ton of traders potentially short down here, right? So seeing if they get rewarded or not, and for them to get rewarded, you've got to break this overnight low. And you could look at value area lows, the first line that they need to start getting paid for. Some of these other ones, there's not as much money or loss from there. But look at this bar, the shove down or the sucker bar down last night, right? Just you could almost mark that off for today to see where the suckers are, right? They're stuck in this range if they're short, right? So getting back below the top of this bar, which would be around 43.90-ish, right? That's going to help some suckers out. And when suckers get helped out, everyone gets helped out. So looking at the Russell, continues to be weak, right? It's just rallied back up right to value area low. It looks like it's rejecting from there. The NASDAQ is basically traded within value all night. We've beat the ES up, so we won't do that. And the Dow, after modestly breaking yesterday's bell low, come back up, sitting right in the middle of value here too. So look at this as Opex. Don't have high expectations. I can't stress that enough. If you want to, if you think you do, you better be playing it a little bit tighter today and expect some choppiness up and down. I will say there is that fuel on the fire that you could potentially get a short squeeze in the morning. I would still look for the overhead resistance for the ES since we're near it, right? Let's pop open this. Sorry, I'm going a little bit over, Jack. 44.19 to 44.20 quarter is what you're looking at. And then, so above that, right, is really going to get some shorts screwed. And then if you look at that draw that we're looking at, the 21.4 is at 22 half. So I would say getting above 22 half, and then remember 30 is all I'm looking for today. You can look at my charts. I'm going to post my stuff here in a few minutes. For this morning, I'm going to do a little early, so I won't have all the overnight action in it. I'll have the majority of it. You guys can look at that. If for a trending day, look at these three. I'm calling these the NASDAQ, the ES, and the Dow as the three musketeers. Look at them as one group, right? If you get three above value area highs on the daily and the overnight grids, right? That's bullish, extremely bullish. That could be a short squeeze. Below on all of them should be a liquidation break and a bigger flush, right? If they're mixed, it's going to be choppy. And then look at the Russell separately. You guys have a great day. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you all